Hey guys, Raivoons here. So the new Velma show finally dropped on HBO Max. You know, the Scooby Doo prequel with Velma as the main character? And I know fans couldn't wait for this. They just recently dropped a new trailer, and at this point it got 6.6 thousand likes and 124,000 dislikes. Wow. So people hated this trailer. And looking back on the last trailer, it was the same thing. But it's too late for the studio now, the show's already done. Somehow those studios don't seem to get what people want to see. Or they do and just ignore it and put more focus into pushing identity politics, like this show is clearly doing. We also finally have a Rotten Tomatoes score for this show. It's sitting at a 60% critic score and just an 18% audience score. So critics like it more than audiences. I mean, that was obvious from the start that this is going to be the case. Because it got everything that critics usually love. It got race-swapped characters, it got identity politics, it got feminism, so they should like it. It's made basically for them. It's not made for audiences, it's made for the critics. But the critics still probably don't seem to like it as much as HBO maybe expected. And the audiences, well, with 18%, that's just awful. And looking on IMDb, it's a similar story. It's sitting at 2.4 out of 10 stars. So there are 2 episodes out right now, and it's got awful reviews on pretty much every reviewing website from audiences. So people really don't like it. And then we have articles like this one here: Mindy Kaling's Velma sparks backlash among Scooby Doo fans over race. And yeah, well, race is one of the problems, but there are a lot of other reasons why people don't like this show. Not just because of the race factor. Mindy Kaling's Velma sparks backlash among Scooby Doo fans over race swap. Velma may not feature the talking Great Dane that defined the original Scooby Doo animated films and series, but it does feature diversity by race swapping 3 of the original show's 4 main characters. Kaling's Velma is now Indian, while Wu's Daphne is portrayed as Asian, and Richardson's Norville is African American rather than being white. Fred is the only Scooby Doo character to remain the same. Well, Hollywood just doesn't learn. You can see that people hate race swaps, but Hollywood still keeps doing them, for those 1% of woke social justice warriors that are so loud on Twitter, even though general audiences don't want race swaps to characters that have already been established for decades and have massive fans all around the world. And then just suddenly a studio comes along and changes everything about the character. The race, often the personality, the design, the sexuality. They often change pretty much everything, they make a character unrecognizable. And the Velma show seems to be going into the same direction. I've read a lot of comments about this, so far from people that actually watched the show, where you really could tell that the people watched them, because they really talked about the plot and everything. Here's one comment that I wanted to read out to you. Emmett F rated it a half star out of 5. Okay, so I just watched Velma and here's what I thought. First complaint, it's way too predictable. Not just the mysteries, but the humor as well. We already know where every joke is going to land, which takes the laughs out of it. Jokes should surprise us. There's something about the surprise factor about humor that gives a joke its oomph. Velma is a TV show that claims to explore the Scooby Doo world, but has nothing to do with Scooby Doo. Why did they have to use Velma, a legendary character that's already been fleshed out? I fear the reason is because the writer Kelly Kapoor from The Office subconsciously worried that no one would care about her show or watch it. Her story shows a lack of creativity, meanwhile the show is constantly trying to remind you how creative it is. Mindy should have created her own new world with brand new characters. She could have even copied the Scooby Doo model, but to take on all those characters and mess with who they are in such ways that's clearly aimed at pissing people off for a marketing strategy doesn't cut it. Overall, I give this show half a star because it lacks creativity, humor, and character arcs. It acts like it's teaching you morals under the guise of progressiveness, but nay, it only seeks to humiliate everyone who isn't Mindy. And that's a pretty good comment. You can clearly tell that that person who actually watched the show and is angry about it. And many Scooby Doo fans are very unhappy with the show. Because it completely butchers the characters they used to love for years, for decades. So I can definitely understand why so many people are upset. And as the saying goes, go woke, go broke. I don't think that this show will be a success. I think it will flop. I think it will lose a ton of money, and Warner Bros. And HBO just don't seem to really know what the hell they should do. They're not creating shows that people want to see, instead they are creating this. So have you seen Velma already? What did you think of it? Or are you planning to see it? Give me your opinion on the show in the comments down below. And like the video and subscribe to the channel. Please help this channel grow, it really means a lot to me. And other than that, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care.